ढगाला लागली कळ पाणी थेंब थेंब गळ वर ढगाला लागली कळ पाणी थेंब थेंब गळ.
Hi guys! So the monsoon is just around the corner and I have this kind of love-hate relationship with the monsoon. I love it because it's so beautiful and then I get to put on my raincoat and you feel amazing, and then there is fungus, mildew, and lots of mildew. That is something that I really hate about the monsoon. If you live in Mumbai like I do, you know 3 months of the year you've got to be careful with your closet and your home, and everything smells funky and there's like mildew on everything. And these are things that I've kind of learned to do before the monsoon and through the monsoon that help to reduce that. So now is the right time to kind of like prep your house and your closet for the monsoon. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so if you're someone like me that has a lot of shoes, the first thing you want to do is work on your shoes. So the monsoon is not your friend if you have a lot of shoes. So your shoes are covered in that icky fungus, white stuff, mildew, and it looks really disgusting, and it's kind of hard to maintain and clean. So I've kind of worked out a system which works really well. So this is pretty much how I store my shoes through the year, but it really helps actually in the monsoon. So you want to kind of segregate your shoes and just keep out like maybe the 4 or 5 pairs that you really need during the monsoon. A lot of your shoes you're never going to wear during the monsoon, like your white shoes, your leather shoes, or really expensive stuff. You don't want to take that out. So you want to kind of pack it like this. So usually I store my shoes in giant airtight boxes like this. I just take a Ziploc bag and put a pair or 2 pairs into that and then just seal it, put it into the airtight box. And then finally you can just throw in maybe a moisture absorber or some silica gel, you know, anyway, in case some fungus seeps through. But this really helps in keeping the fungus out. Now I've had terrible times when I have to clean all my shoes with fungus every year, and it really becomes like this massive chore where I'm like, okay, every 10 days I need to clean my shoes because they have fungus on them. This system really works to kind of keep them fungus free for those 3 months and through the whole year. And it's a really nice way to store your shoes because your shoes don't get ruined and they last much longer this way. So you can also store your bags in a similar fashion, or the other thing to do is you can put in like moisture absorbers or silica gel around your bags if you have them on a shelf in your cupboard like I do, and this will kind of keep the moisture out. But again, make sure everything is clean, like wiped and dry. That is really important. Then we come to the closet. Now my closet is a wooden closet. Both my closets are actually a wooden closet. So every monsoon, like the shelves get covered with mildew, and it is not pretty. So here are a few things that I do to kind of prevent this, and I've tried to do this a lot over the year and it has really worked. So I'm going to share my tips and tricks with you guys. Number 1 is line your shelves. Now you don't want to use newspaper. I used to use newspaper before, but newspaper kind of adds fuel to the fire in this situation and helps the mildew grow, and it's like happier. So you want to put like these plastic sheets. I got these from Crawford Market. You get them in regular stores that sell plastic, or you get them on Amazon as well. I will link whatever I can find from the video below for you guys as well. So just line your shelves with plastic sheets. This is going to kind of separate your clothes from the fungus, even if the fungus does form on the shelf, which is really an easier way to clean, because then you just take your clothes out, remove the sheets, wash the sheets, dry the sheets, put them back, and you know, it's much easier to clean than just actually have the fungus on your clothes. Now the next tip I'm going to give you might seem kind of contradictory, because the whole point of fungus and all of that is it comes from extra moisture in the air during the monsoon, which is why I'm going to say you need to do this before the monsoon, like right now. So before it actually starts raining, do this once. I do this every few months actually. It really helps to keep your closet fresh and clean. Just take your steamer. This is a regular clothes steam iron that I use. If you have a diffuser, you can actually even use a diffuser. It works the same way. Just add some cloves in. Now yes, cloves are amazing for your closet. I will get into the details in a bit, but just throw in a few cloves into that and you just steam your closet. And then you want to just leave it open, make sure all the steam comes out and just air it out, leave the fan on, leave the windows open. The cloves and the steam together, they kind of you know, kill all the dust mites, the odor that's in your cupboard. If your clothes are smelling musty, this is a great way to get all that out. The other option is if you're trying to get some must out of clothes during the monsoon, the best thing to do is actually steam iron them instead of ironing them. This will reduce the odor and this will kind of freshen up the outfit, which I do a lot during the monsoon. Like, I don't like to iron my clothes, I like to steam iron them because the clothes feel like fresh and smell great. So that is my tip for keeping your clothes fresh. The next thing you want to do is throw around lots of cloves and neem leaves. Now, neem leaves may smell really bitter and you might think that, oh, should I just really put this into my closet? But yeah, like, you want to just take these stems and you just want to put them randomly in your clothes or on the shelves. So cloves and neem together are an amazing combination that keep out mildew, must, bad odors, smells, all of that. And this is really going to work well for you. I usually like to kind of change the neem sticks around every couple of weeks, or you can actually use dried leaves because then those you don't really have to change. You can just leave them there or make like a little bit of a potpourri and put it into your cupboard, and that will help with the odor and bacteria and everything. The next most important thing to do is to get the moisture out. So how do we do that? How do we dehumidify our cupboards? I basically use ABSORBIA, which is this, it's a moisture absorber, prevents musty smells, mold and fungus, allergens. There are also a lot of other natural ones like the charcoal ones, which you can kind of reuse if you put them out in the sun, and you know, there's lots of varieties. I feel like this is the most effective. However, these do finish really quickly. You can see this one is almost coming to an end and you have to replace these every month. They have a bigger reusable packet which is slightly more economical. They have the smaller ones which you saw me put into the shoes, or you can, you know, put them into drawers, bags, things like that. But yeah, they are slightly expensive and they don't last very long. Like, at the most during the monsoon, it would last like a month and a half, and you will have to replace it. But I still use these across my cupboards and I feel like they do help. They don't completely keep the fungus out, like, but if I do it with everything else, then it works. So the other cheaper alternative would be rice. Now, we've all heard how people say, you know, you should stick your phone into rice if it gets wet because it will absorb all the moisture out. So rice is a natural moisture absorber, and I would just take it like this, put it into a jar and stick it in my closet. This will really help with getting moisture out. Now, if you don't have a major moisture problem in your closet, I feel like this could work, but I have a massive moisture issue, so I do need a lot of ABSORBIA or different kinds of moisture absorbers. The next thing that I would say works really well is vacuum bags. So you want to store away clothes that you're not going to use for a while, like your winter clothes or clothes that you don't really need at that point in time, or linens in vacuum bags. Or you can even use like plastic airtight containers like the shoe ones. I use both these methods and they work really well to kind of keep out mildew and must, and they don't really smell musty. So you kind of, when you open your vacuum bag, literally your clothes are ready to wear. Otherwise, you have to kind of wash things after the monsoon because they do have that musty smell. So I would definitely recommend that. The other thing you can try is installing a little bulb in your wardrobe. Now, a lot of people advised me about this method and I didn't really want to go through the whole process because I was like, it's only bad during the monsoon. Otherwise, I don't really need it. So what I do is I kind of stick my lamp into the closet for a bit and just put it on. The heat from the bulb actually really works to kind of keep out the moisture and keeps things dry. I don't know how it works. When I heard it, I thought it was like, I was like, what, really? But it really works. So if you have a major moisture problem, I would just say install a bulb in your closet, like a low voltage bulb, nothing major, or just stick a lamp in it like I do for maybe a couple of hours every few days. That works well as well. Then you want to obviously store away all your whites. So I tend to avoid all white clothes during the monsoon and I stick to more prints because the prints kind of hide, you know, all the muck and splatter and things like that. So I tend to put the prints forward and I put away the solids and the whites towards the back, where, especially with my bottoms, I avoid wearing light bottoms or like non-printed stuff because the prints hide all the mucky stuff. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a video on like monsoon fashion tips or like, you know, getting cool monsoon gear or things like that, I can definitely do a video like that. Leave that in the comments and maybe we can do something like that. And the last tip for your closet, which is probably the most important one, is make sure your clothes are completely dry when you put them in. So you want to make sure you dry your clothes after washing them in the sun and that they're completely dry. Now, a lot of the times our clothes are slightly damp and we iron them and we put them into the closet. This is the biggest cause of mildew and must and everything. So make sure your clothes are completely dry before you put them into the closet. Okay, up next we have the muck and the dirt and how you want to keep the muck and dirt out of your house. So we have a white flooring and it looks really mucky very easily. Like if you come in with dirty mucky shoes after being out in the monsoon, you can literally leave a trail through the house and that's bringing in lots of germs. And if you're someone like me that is a germaphobe, you'll be like, ugh. So I have two things that I do. Number one, we have a doormat, which is the most obvious thing, where you kind of wipe your shoes properly before getting into the house and like make sure that you get rid of all the muck and dirt outside. Number two are my slippers. So I have separate house slippers. Like you can see my house slippers are pretty clean because they never left the house. So I kind of like to keep a pair of slippers that I do not ever use outside the house, so that kind of keeps the house environment clean. I do this through the year pretty much, but that's something I like to do personally. A lot of people like to walk barefoot. You can do that as well, but don't kind of use the shoes that you wear outside in the house a lot, because that's gonna like make the germs spread all over your house, especially during the monsoon because there's muck and there's lots of germs. And keep a separate pair of slippers that you can wear in the house so that as soon as you get into the house you change into your home slippers and then you can freely walk around and leave the germs in one corner of the house. Now, what do we do with carpets and rugs? If you're someone that has a lot of carpets and rugs, I would say roll up the really expensive ones and store them properly so that they don't get musty or dirty during the monsoon. The other option is that you've got to vacuum your rugs and carpets because there's going to be lots of dust mites, lots of mildew and lots of moisture in the air. So the only way to keep that out is by vacuuming. So I would recommend vacuuming every week at least. Otherwise they're not going to, you know, stay moisture free and fungus free. That is something that you have to do in the monsoon. The next thing I do to get ready for the monsoon is stock up on tea. So you guys know I'm a tea lover, and Vaibhav also loves all kinds of exotic teas. Like he in fact likes the healthier kinds, which are like tulsi and ginger and herbal teas and all of that, and I like different kinds of flavored teas as well as my regular tea. You can stock up on whatever you like to drink during the monsoon. It could be hot chocolate, different type of coffee, nice hot drinks basically. So we actually have this whole drawer which is a tea drawer which has like all sorts of teas, and you can actually just pick it up and our kettle is right there. So it's all like this little tea section where you can just make your tea really quickly. And that's something I feel you should have around the house during the monsoon because you kind of crave hot beverages a lot. And so just make a little corner in your kitchen which could have like, you can make a tea box or a tea drawer like we have, and yeah, that's something nice to have around the house. Okay, now let's talk monsoon gear. Now a lot of the times, you know, people kind of get upset that their clothes are hidden by their raincoats, or you know, you can't really see what they're wearing, so they wear really boring clothes. So I would say now is the time you want to stock up on your monsoon gear. Now usually every year I end up buying a cool raincoat because I love to wear raincoats, and over the years I have like a collection of 4 or 5 raincoats that I wear a lot. And gum boots. Now if you don't have rain boots, definitely invest in a pair of rain boots. They really make your life a lot easier, especially on days when it's pouring and you want to look cool but you still like don't know what to wear, and you don't want to wear your flip-flops every day. So I would definitely say invest in a pair of gum boots, a cool umbrella and a raincoat. I will try and link some options below. ASOS does really cool raincoats, like I bought a few from there. Topshop, I will link some below for you guys as well. But yeah, I would definitely say invest in some cool rain shoes and maybe a raincoat. And now's the best time to do it because then you can use it through the season and then you have it already for the next season. Because if you buy it somewhere midway, like you're going to use it for a month or two, you know, less. So I would definitely say buy now. Now the last tip is if everything fails, if everything I have told you fails in this video and you do have like mildew and fungus on something like your bags or whatever, the best thing to do is just kind of wipe it clean with a dry cloth being the key element here. Do not use any more moisture or water because that's just going to breathe the fungus further and further. And make sure you get it all off and then just put it out in like a nicely ventilated area in maybe your balcony or in the sun is best for a couple of hours. That will completely kill all the fungus and mildew and your bag is good to use again. And if it's leather stuff, you can polish it also after cleaning it like this. That will kind of help it from getting fungus as well. That works well as well. But yeah, the easiest thing to do is just wipe it clean and keep it in the sun. So that is how I get ready for the monsoon, and I hope these tips help you guys get ready for the monsoon. If you guys have any more tips for me or for everyone else watching, leave them in the comments and I will see you guys soon. Bye!